All right, what's up, guys? Dante, or aka Coach Cell, here for my high school guys out there. Today, we're returning the series. I know I've took a little bit of a hiatus from this, helped some high school guys up behind the scenes that did not want a video made about them. But here we go. We're gonna get into Jasper Shepps out of Juniata. Juniata, is that how you pronounce it? Juniata High School in Mifflintown, PA. Actually, it's supposed to be a W on the graphic, but either way it goes, we're gonna jump into this young man's film. He reached out to me a couple months ago and said, hey, can you let me know some good things and some bad things on what I'm doing? So if you guys are new to this series, we highlight the player. They reach out to me. Originally they reach out to me when their film reviewed, and for me to give them some pointers on what I see on film. You guys know we do a ton of film study around here. As a former coach and former player, I want to be able to give back to these guys as much as possible. You know, some guys aren't as fortunate as others to attend camps or to have an outside view on what we see, you know, a person like me, what we see on film as well. So putting all that together, going to give this young man as much as I can. We're going to review about 4 or 5 plays of his, and then we'll get into the end where we kind of describe where I actually see Jasper as far as where he's at in his career. He is a junior, or who was a junior, going into his senior year of high school right now. So hopefully give him some pointers and see how he can turn this thing around for his senior year and be even better than he was the previous year, because that's always the goal, right? So let's go ahead and dig into the film. All right, so obviously first play here, can't really tell if he's lined up at the X or the Z from the X or Z from this angle, but he's going to get a man-to-man matchup. Quarterback's going to see that out of the shotgun here, and he's just going to lay it out to him. He's not even going to look anywhere else but him being the intended guy. Pretty ballsy play call from the offensive coordinator here, but throws it up. And just look at the catch point. I mean, obviously this defender is really, really good at understanding where the ball is and how to defend it. But because of Jasper's, you know, hops and being able to have longer arms and strong hands, he's able to get that, turn up the juice. Don't let that guy catch up to you. Use a stiff arm if you have to. Do that guy off balance, and keeping steady speed to obviously get around that guy was an obviously an excellent job from Jasper. All right, so let's focus on the release and everything Jasper gets here. Lined up on the outside, another man-to-man matchup. Gonna fake the inside release. Gonna get outside, use his hands a little bit to push that guy's arm away. Good stuff so far. Gets up, and look at the way he tracks the ball all the way through the air. I think this is, you know, it could get you in trouble sometime for telegraphing, but when you're open, and it's hard not to look for the ball. And I think he understands that. Getting that outside release, getting the angle towards the sideline is really, really good. You know, in the hands. I like the fact that he's not a body catcher of the ball. So, you know, from that standpoint, I do like everything that he did there by faking the inside, getting the outside release, and came out really strong with a touchdown. All right, I want to see what kind of the short game was looking like. You know, not necessarily in the middle of the field, but we get some in the end zone, and we get to see what it looks like here on this screen pass. Gets a little bubble screen, make sure his inside guy gets in and makes the block, and he's going to make a couple guys missing. This is why I thought this play was so impressive, is having a big receiver like this. You obviously think that he's going to be able to be athletic enough to break a couple tackles, and super athletic, jukes inside. Just want you guys to focus in on how embarrassing this probably was for the defense. That one juke totally collapsed 2 different players, and the block from his inside guy makes 2 more guys miss right there, and makes another guy just pretty much come down and try to drag him to the ground, which he was way too small for you, Jasper. And I understand the dominance there. So another great play from Jasper, and in the short game, making guys miss and using this size advantage against the defense here. So as you see with Jasper, man, he does a couple of different things for his team. He's willing to do everything. Looks like he's returning punts. took a direct snap off of a punt, actually got some big yardage on both of those. And then, playing the safety position, and mainly we saw a lot of his wide receiver snaps. And I'm super impressed by, his skill set and what he possesses. And, I think it's very, very cool that you are doing everything for your team and that your coaches are utilizing you in a couple different situations, which is going to help you understand the game and open your mind a little bit more on some of the tendencies that could happen on the defensive and offensive ball to make. Obviously, I think you're going to be a wide receiver at the next level if you're blessed enough to get, some offers this year. And, I think you're totally deserving of that. The tendency that what I've seen from watching your film so far is you have a great vision for the ball, regardless if you have traffic in front of you, and you go up and you snag it. I mean, of course, we're seeing, the good stuff that you do on film, thanks to Huddle. I wish I could watch like a full game of yours to kind of, and I say this about every high school kid, to see where your good and your bad, kind of lies. But, you understand the catch point very, very well, and you look bigger than everybody on the field too. So whatever your gym and your nutrition plan is, tighten it up. Make sure that you're getting the best out of not only every workout that you do, but, from a nutritional standpoint, you are a big guy, and you're only going to have to get bigger from there. So, one thing that I do see a lot is that you utilize the sideline as your friend. And that's a lot of things that I try to teach younger guys is like, your sideline is your best friend. It gets you away from traffic. It makes guys forced to take an angle on you where, that it's you in the sideline, and utilizing the open field where you can, but getting that off angle, getting to the sideline, make it your best friend. Stops the clock in certain situations. If you happen to fumble and you got in the opposite arm and they knock it out, it goes to the sideline. So the sideline is more of your friend than it is your enemy in a lot of times. And I think you obviously understand that. So shout out to whoever your wide receiver coach is doing a fantastic job of getting you prepared for that as well. And you're able to account for some of your quarterback's deficiencies. Look, not every high school quarterback has got a rocket for an arm or the most accurate, but what you do is you come back to the ball, you help your quarterback look better than he probably actually is as far as his talent level is concerned. Not saying that your quarterback is bad, but you're able to, when he's feeling the pressure and maybe you throw it short, you're able to keep your eye on the ball. And I think outside of you having strong hands and being a hands catcher, I think that's probably your best aspect, is being able to account for the deficiencies of what you see around you and making sure that you make a good play, which is a lot of things that you can't teach. That's more of an instinctual thing, watching film and, seeing what's out there. Your jump ball, obviously on one-to-ones, is fantastic, and that's why your quarterback trusts you. He just throws it up to you and you make things happen, which is invaluable. And I love the fact that you play X and Z on your offense. So again, shout out to your coaches by, getting you into two different positions where you're kind of understanding, what angles that you can take, especially in your inside and outside releases, playing both of those positions. Now, obviously, you got to give you a little bit of critiques. Sometimes your route running is not the cleanest, right? And I would love to see more of a burst off your rep. And maybe it's because of the quarterback thing. Maybe, that you can't get too far downfield, or that's where his cap is as far as, his throwing strength is concerned. But a lot of things that college guys are going to want to see on film is like you winning those one-on-one matchups against a defender on your inside and outside releases and what your route tree is. So get a little bit more creative this offseason, start digging into your route running and make those guys miss. We've obviously seen that you have speed down the field. So I want to see that speed match up into your route running. So I think that's one thing that you could work on. As far as like your defensive game, I really don't see you being a defensive player. I mean, most of your highlights are at wide receiver, but I think some of the vision that you have as a receiver has helped you as a safety to get those interceptions and things like that. I would love to see a little bit more tackling highlights if that's a direction that you decide to go, but more so I'm more focused on you being a wide receiver, because that's where I think like your obviously your bread and butter is. Now, I'm gonna do this new thing where I start giving people to do a little bit of their own homework, right? And Drake London is somebody I think fits within your realm of how you would like to play. Watch a lot of Drake London from here on out and see what he does down there for the Falcons. Hell, even go back and see what he did at USC when he was a Trojan previously in his career. And I think you'll start to see a little bit more of what his makeup is as a wide receiver, but then also you could take a little bit away from what he does, because he wasn't known to be the fastest or the best route runner. But what people quickly figured out from my evaluation is that he could be all those things. Maybe he might not be the fastest, but making that first guy miss off the route and obviously having really strong hands like you do is only going to take you further. So thank you, Jasper, for sending this over to me. Sorry it took so long for me to get to this, but we're going to start knocking these out. You know, I hope everybody in the comment section gives you well wishes. We think, you know, obviously I think you have the talent to make it far in your career if this is something that you decide to do. Just tightening up the little things, you know, seeing if your coach can get you a little bit more creative in the things that you do on offense as far as your route tree is concerned. I would love to see more underneath stuff, because I think you have the speed to get open. You know, I think your speed could be a little better, but I think it's just because off that first step, and then, you know, accounted for those deficiencies at the quarterback level for you. So I kind of see, but would love to see more of that on film. Most importantly, outside of the stats, a lot of scouts are going to want to see, is he as talented without catching the ball as he is catching the ball? And even if the ball is not going in your vicinity, make sure you're putting in highlights where you're absolutely burning people, or can get somebody to record highlights of you burning people on routes as well in your route running scheme, because that's what's going to really help at the end of the day. So anyways, this has been Dante, aka Coach Cell. Thank you, Jasper, for sending this over to me. Look out for the next one, and we'll talk to you guys later.